For my Teachers in Action project, I participated in a pre-approved group event in which me and 3 other students from this course attended an inclusive movie showing at Ninjago at Premier Theaters in Melbourne, Florida. The inclusive showing was open to all families and included families that have children with disabilities. We observed the children in the theater and how they reacted to certain components of the movie, and how the movie theater worked to create an environment that was sensitive to any disabilities the children might have. We were happy to find that many accommodations were made for these children. Some of the differences of an inclusive movie showing is the light stayed on the entire time, only one preview before the movie started, and it was very closely relevant to the movie being shown. It was free, there was no purchase necessary. The back seats tended to fill up first. There was lower bass and volume throughout the movie. It was very family friendly and young children friendly and special needs friendly. A standard movie showing typically has the lights turn off once the previews begin. There are usually many previews and relevance is unimportant for the most part. Tickets must be paid for. The middle seats tend to fill up first. There's loud bass and volume throughout the movie, and they're not normally as family friendly and relaxed as the inclusive showings. The participant demographics included more boys than girls. There was a mix of different ethnicities and elementary-aged and preschool-aged children, and there were around 30 to 50 children present with their families. For the Service in Action project, I did participate in a group setting. We carpooled together to the theater in Melbourne for their inclusive showing of Ninjago. This is a special showing for children with special needs that takes into consideration sensitivities that can be experienced by children with disabilities in a movie theater. The movie was action-packed, but some considerations that were made were consistent lighting throughout the showing, lower volume, and lowered bass. This was my first time attending an inclusive showing for children and children with disabilities. It was interesting to see the accommodations that were made for those in attendance and to experience the relaxed atmosphere of the theater. Children were welcome to talk and react excitedly to the movie without issue, and lights stayed on along with a lowered volume for action scenes. It's always refreshing to see the accommodations that can be made in every situation. For this project, I was enrolled in an exceptional education course, EEX 4070. One of the course topics I understand more fully now is inclusion. It is so important to include all students to the best of our abilities. An inclusive showing like this one did just that and fostered a comfortable setting in which all children could feel invited and welcome to watch a movie in a place that normally would request silence and stillness from its attendees. This project will influence my future teaching career by always thinking of different accommodations that can be made in every situation. Civic engagement and volunteerism are important to all children and teach valuable lessons that cannot always be taught in the classroom. Civic engagement allows a student to see things from a different perspective and to meet people they normally would not have met in everyday situations. It allows them to engage in activities that are life-fulfilling and necessary to understanding the importance of kindness, accommodations, friendship among all, and inclusion. Service learning is a wonderful method of learning that I look forward to including with my own classroom as often as I can. My motivation is so much stronger now to be more engaged in service learning in the future. I have nothing but the highest recommendation for service learning. Teachers play such an important role in introducing students to service learning and being more involved in their community. This is an era that we live in which students do not extend their networks more so than they are asked to due to busy schedules, fear of the unknown, and sometimes just not knowing how. This does not diminish the importance of service learning, and it is the teacher or parent's role to include their students in civic engagement as often as possible. Teachers truly are paramount to the greater good of society in this way. In order to get students more involved, persons with disabilities or differences from themselves could be discussed more often in the classroom and included in discussion and visual aid. If students see persons with disabilities more regularly, they will feel more comfortable surrounding themselves and befriending those that students would consider different. Students could also come up with their own accommodations and show how they could do their part in providing a comfortable learning and social environment for those with disabilities.